Hello, 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 hello? Hello. Okay. So, I am once again doing a live stream. For my video that will be on this weather stuff, I mean, it's kind of too late already because most of the weather stuff happened by now. I will post that by tonight. I just wanted to let you guys know. Just in case if I do do a live stream tomorrow, because the live stream tomorrow will be based on that. Just in case if I do. I'm not sure if I'm going to yet. It really depends how big the risk is going to be. And also how local it is. A lot of the time I do film if it is pretty close to me. My location, which is in northern New Jersey. I do notice that the tornado risk is fairly close, so I might try to film that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But either way, this is what we're gonna do today. The reason why we're live mostly is because of those 80-mile-per-hour winds in Kansas City, which is a very populated area, as well as the tornado warning just north of town. So this is a very eventful event so far. However, it hasn't been as tornadic as expected. I'm unsure if that's going to change. It doesn't look like it, but there is some storms out in front of the main convection that is making up the line, specifically in Oklahoma and southern Kansas. So we're watching that. But anyways, without further ado, here is the scene. We are currently watching this storm down in Oklahoma, but overall, the main scene, you can see over here, this is what we're mainly looking at. I mean, it's not that widespread as I zoomed out, but you can see it's this whole area here. I don't know how to show multiple radars at once, so you're just going to have to imagine what those other radars look like, but it basically looks like this. And this whole circled area is having severe weather at the moment. Of course, there is some severe weather potential all the way up here in Michigan, too, as the line develops. However, it kind of already exists, and it's not really doing much. You can see a tiny bit of convection starting to form near Greenbush, Harrisville, Alcona, that area. But it's not as much as it was earlier today. It was definitely more earlier today. You saw more convection. But either way, let's start with the models, or not the models. Let's start with our mesoscale environment. Let me just take this off for 1 second. Let's start with our mesoscale environment, just to see if these storms have potential or not. Because it's possible they do have potential, it's possible they don't. We'll just have to wait and see. So, going off of what we see right now, you can see the bulk shear. There is a lot of shear in that Oklahoma storm. But it's kind of leaving that main shear environment, and there isn't really any storms behind it. If you look at, oh wait, let me change my scene. Right here, if you look at this wind shear, it really isn't that, it isn't right in the hot spot, that storm. You can see on the smaller screen that this storm is located near Fairfax and Pawnee, but well, the main axis of severe weather materials are over here. And there is some storms there, but it really doesn't seem like as much of storms. And going back to the radar, we actually did just get another tornado warning just east of Kansas City. So this is a very populated area. I gotta see what the population for that is. Let me just look, because I think I have a program that does it, but it's on my phone. So here, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Here, wait. Sorry. I don't know how you can see if... How can you see that? Sorry, guys. Just give me a second. I'm trying to see the population. Whatever. It's a very large population. I unfortunately can't see it based on the program that I'm looking at. But I bet it's like over 1 million at this point. It may be a little less than 1 million just because downtown Kansas City isn't quite in it. But I would imagine that this is impacting a lot of people, especially those people in Independence and Blue Springs. Blue Springs is also in the risk here. And you can see some of these tornado warnings overlap, but that doesn't really mean much in the scheme of things. It just means that there's, I mean, I guess you could say it's extra precaution you need to take, but it's just because there's, like, 2 tornadoes in close proximity to each other. But otherwise, we do have a bunch of convection over here in southern Kansas, which is looking interesting, but I'm not really expecting much from it due to the over-convection that's occurring. That basically means that the storms are kind of choking each other out. You can see over here is where some less choking each other out is occurring. So if a storm were to form there, it would be more discrete and therefore would have more tornado potential. However, this doesn't end the wind threat. There is still a wind threat and also a hail threat with these storms, and that can occur even with a lot of over-convection. So we do still have that 80-mile-per-hour windstorm in effect as a warning. However, it does seem like that's going to be allowed to expire soon, and it might have, no, it didn't expire yet. It's down here. It's down here in this area near Overland Park. It's barely includes Kansas City, Kansas, not Kansas City, Missouri, but it's basically in Kansas City, Missouri. But yeah, I'm not really seeing what this tornado warning is indicating, like, with the rotation. I do see a little. I do see when you go to the rotation product, you can see a little indent right south of Independence. So you might need to look at that. I mean, it definitely is a possibility for something to develop out of that, but I'm not expecting much. The main tornadic ingredients are down here in Oklahoma. Let's continue looking at the thermodynamics and stuff like that. You can see the cape here. The one thing that the storm is doing in Oklahoma, it's breaking out of that cap. I'm not sure if the cap is gonna increase. The cap is going to increase, it seems, very quickly. So, yeah, it looks like the cap is supposed to increase. However, right now, it seems like it's still okay for the storm. As long as it gets out of the cap, it could have some tornadic potential, but for a brief moment, it seems. And then if you look over here to the mid-level lapse rates, the lapse rates are actually pretty good with this system. So we haven't had a lot of good lapse rates environments this season. However, the lapse rates are pretty good this season, this event, it seems. And then if you look at the supercell composite, you can see there is quite a bit of supercell composite. I do think this is the main reason why it went live, because there is some potential for the storm to do something that we don't want it to do. However, it's not going to be anything strong, I don't think. Like, if it were to produce a tornado, it would probably be weak at this point, because we've gone out of the daytime heating, we've gone out of the main axis of energy, so I think that it's a little bit less of a chance of seeing a strong tornado now than it was a couple of hours ago. So we'll still see what happens with this system. I do think that we might get a couple of tornadoes. I'm just not expecting a strong tornado much anymore, but I mean, the SBC still has that strong tornado potential. Okay, so we do have an observed warning north of Kansas City. Observed tornado north of Kansas City. I'm not sure where that's from. Radar confirmed? Wait. Just give me a second. Oh, I see it. Okay, so it did exist briefly. You can see a little rotation. Like that little storm. That's the general track of it. It went from Riverside down to Independence. That was a brief tornado. However, it doesn't seem like that's active anymore. So they might have just pulled the warning a little bit too late. And that's really unfortunate because a lot of people live in this area. So we do have an observed tornado warning now. It could still be on the ground. It's just not strong enough to really show damage, even though there is a lot in this area. So most likely we would see damage. But yeah, it does look like a brief tornado went through North Kansas City. So that area needs to be alert that a tornado just went through. And the areas out ahead need to be alert that you need to get in your safe spot. Of course, the safe spot is the lowest, most interior room of your home or some sort of sturdy building. If you were to walk through walls, you have to enter into a room where if you were to walk through any wall, you would, or every wall, you would never end up outside and you would just end up in another room. If you walk outside of a wall and end up outside, then that room is not safe and you have to go into an interior room. And of course, if you're in a mobile home, you have to evacuate immediately and go to a sturdier shelter in order for your protection. So that is what we're seeing right now. I would change my warning because there is an observed warning. However, it's still only 6 minutes for this observed warning to be in effect, so I don't want to change it before it changes itself, so. But okay. So yeah, let me get some cameras on this, actually. I do need to get some cameras on this because there's a lot of them in this area, I'm pretty sure. And I bet that I can definitely find some with this. I don't think we'll be able to see a tornado, especially with it, how rain-wrapped it likely is. However, I do think we are going to see some very strong winds with this system. I'm unsure if there's still an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning in effect. Let me see. There is south of Kansas City. Let me look at the winds in that area through radar. So, I am still seeing some pretty strong winds. I don't think they're as strong as they were before. You can see there was some blues in the area, and there still kinda is near Liberty, but I'm not really seeing as much insanity as it was before. So, I think we're mostly okay, but I don't think that we're, great, I would say. I think that we still have to be in our safe spots, especially since there's an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning still in effect. But yeah, let me get my cameras up. Well, it's not my cameras, but yeah. Sorry. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of cameras in this area. So, let me see where this is. Just look where this is. Alright, so it's south of Missouri City. Where would that be? Let me just see. It's like a weird road there. Oh, I think I see where it is. It's like right here. So here, let me see. Here, is it near that junction? Let me see. Not really. I mean, here, let me go a little further south. It's like right here. Yeah, you see, it's not fully dark there, but you can see the winds on that camera. So let me pull it up. You can see there's a lot of winds. There's actually more winds than we saw on the camera in Kansas when there was actually higher winds, but that's just because of the location we found in Kansas. It probably wasn't that much of winds in that region. I don't think it was dead center of the main axis of wind. This might be, but honestly, I'm not sure if the winds are stronger, but it definitely looks pretty strong. You can see it tracking across the road, and it's hard to drive through, for sure. I mean, these cars are probably having difficulty because of this. And some of them are putting their hazards on. It doesn't look like a ton of rain, but it could be some flooding rain. I don't know if that's the main concern. I don't think so, because this is just one line. I haven't seen any other storms in Kansas City lately. But definitely some strong winds, and be alert if you live in this area. I don't know how, I would guess like 60, maybe 65-mile-per-hour winds on this camera, even though they just increase. You can see they're really increasing on this camera. You can see them streak across the road. That's definitely an increase in winds. So, I would say respect the storm, and definitely respect the warning that the NWS issued. Definitely could be a big storm. Could be a big storm. What am I doing? Sorry. But of course that was on the smaller screen, but whatever. It's fine. You could still see it from that angle. Okay, so they are extending this warning as observed, so now I'm going to change my title because they are extending this as observed. I'm not sure if it is still on the ground. I'm not seeing anything that indicates that, but either way, remain in your safe spots anyways. This is still a dangerous storm at the moment. So let me change my title. Well, not my title, but like the thing on the screen. Sorry about the background noise. Can't figure this out. Yeah, there you go. And then no, and then no, and then no. Okay, that works. Well, you can't see it that well, anyways. Let me make this the okay. That works. Okay. But yeah, you can see these winds continuing to. Oh wait, let me change the scene. You can see these winds continuing to streak across the road. Quite a bit of them. Quite a bit of them. This is Missouri Live Cameras, by the way. I forgot the exact website name, but I'll show you in a sec. But yes, you can see those are some strong winds. I would say those are some pretty strong winds. And you can see it's causing the cars to put their hazards on too. Sorry about how squeaky my chair is. I need to get a new chair, I think, but this is old. But yeah, we're continuing to watch these powerful winds in the region of Kansas City. This is in Missouri 291 northbound, which is about 5 miles east of Kansas City, probably more, 10 miles maybe. I gotta look. But definitely quite a bit of rain and some winds. How do I escape this? Oh. I don't know why I did that. Okay. You know what? Let me change this test because you can still barely see it. I will admit. You can still barely see it. So I'm gonna do this. I know it's not the best color choice, pink with orange, but... Oh, wait, I have an idea. Wait a second. Let me do this. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now you can see it. There you go. Okay, I think this could be a CC drop, but it's kinda hard to tell. Let me see if it's always been there. I really don't know. That's weird. That's weird to say the least. It has kind of tracked somewhere, but I'm not seeing any definitive rotation. And it's not in the right track. It's heading northeast, so I really don't think that's actually anything. But we could still watch it. We'll see what happens, and you still need to be in your safe spot in that area. Once again, sorry about the background noise. But yeah, I mean, do we still have an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning? I don't think we do. Okay, so there's no more 80-mile-per-hour wind warning, so let me change my title, actually, because that's in the title, so I need to change it. Oh, am I on the wrong side? I'm not. Oh, okay, I was just behind. So, okay. Yeah, that works. To be honest, I will say one thing. This storm near Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's really not looking tornadic right now. I know there's like this weird signature over here, which is like a tail of the storm. I I don't know what that is either, but I don't think it would be tornadic because it's all the way in the back here. Even if it was, it does not have a lot of reflectivity with it. But I mean, it could be tornadic. You can see there's a bit of rotation over here, but it's kind of hard to tell, I will admit. I don't think I've ever seen a signature like that, so I don't think that's tornadic, but... Yeah, and it wouldn't be, because you can see the inflow would have to go like this. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know, it's just a weird direction. I don't think the storm's winds are heading in that direction, the inflow. So, I wouldn't say that's anything, but still keep your eye out. And there are these storms in southern Kansas, southeastern Kansas, that are looking kind of interesting. Not sure what they were going to do, but you can see there is some storms developing down south. So, I don't know. But going back to our tornado warnings in Kansas City, this is looking a bit more conducive of a tornado on reflectivity. But I'm not sure about on actual velocity. There is definitely this could be producing a tornado if there is rotation in that area. And there kind of is. It's a little hard to tell because we're so close to the radar, but... Yeah, that looks like rotation. So, let me see if there's there isn't a CC drop there, so I don't think we're seeing anything. But we'll continue watching it. And that definitely is a signature that would indicate something is trying to develop. And over here, too. See the little notch. You can see it. And this is supposed to be an MCS as it enters into Oklahoma. It is supposed to enter into Oklahoma as it continues moving south, so... I don't think we'll be I don't think we'll be live for that long, but I think we'll still be live for quite a bit longer just because of these winds still existing. I mean, they're not 80 miles per hour anymore, but there's still tornado warnings in effect, so I would still say that we have to be alive. I mean, I would say these storms are kind of interesting. Like, the ones congealed in a line, kind of. They're a little more discreet. I would say they have a chance, but not a big chance, for sure. They extended to Missouri a little bit. like this small part over here. But yeah, definitely not as active as we were expecting today. At least at the beginning of it. I mean, we'll see what happens later on, but it doesn't look like as active of a tornadic scene. We have seen much more of a wind scene, but also a little less of a hail scene at the same time. So, the only thing that's really performing today is wind right now. Right now, of course. Because we don't know if anything is going to change. I was just looking at something. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the winds have really decreased on this storm. That's one thing I've noticed. That was a brief moment where the winds were stronger right through Kansas City, unfortunately. I don't know if that's going to cause a lot of damage, but at least it was brief. But, I mean, it's still going to cause lots of damage, even if it was brief. But, at least it was at 90 miles per hour, but I keep trying to soften things. It was still an intense storm as it moved through Kansas City. Let me get rid of the chasers, just because we don't need them. Still have tornado watches in effect for northeastern Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas, and then into Kansas City. Still have those tornado watches in effect, so we still have a little bit of a chance, but I think this northern risk we can safely say is not going to perform, especially since this whole area, which is what is remaining as the clear sector, isn't producing anything in this very little time. But I still wouldn't doubt this region. Let me circle that a little better. I still wouldn't doubt this region right here. Still wouldn't doubt this region right here. Maybe a little bit to the east to Springfield. I could still see some storms developing in that region. However, I think the most dangerous area would be the left half of that. Because that is where the cap isn't in placed. Just checking. This storm right here along the Kansas-Missouri border is looking much more disorganized than it was, I would say. You can see over here, I mean, it's more congealing into a line. The only thing that's preventing it from fully turning into a line is because it's it's not really, in the line, but we'll see. There is a little tiny storm developing right here. I'm not sure if that's a storm or a fire, because it's kind of just remaining in the same place, but it's right near Buffalo, whatever it is. I can look if it's a fire, but I don't think so, because this area has had a lot of rain recently, so... I mean, even if it is, I would doubt a fire looks like that on radar. I know what a fire looks like on radar, so... Okay, so we did see an extension to one of these tornado warnings. This one right here. You can see now Odessa is included in it. Oak Grove, Bait City, Green Valley already was included in the tornado warning. But you can see there's still an area of rotation over here. Not on the ground, but it still has developed over the past few scans. You can see right here is where it would be, north of Oak Grove. So we're still watching that. Not sure about this storm. I don't think I see anything much more. No CC drop anymore, so I think that's going to be allowed to expire soon. Sorry if my computer's a little slow. Once again, I'm doing this all on one computer for some reason. Is that... I want to wait one more scan for that, but I really doubt that's anything. I really doubt it. Doesn't seem like it, but I'll still wait one more scan and see what it does. Let me look back at a storm in Buffalo, if that is a storm. Has it changed at all? It could be a storm, but I really gotta see, because that looks like a fire to me. So let me check on the fire website. Like, I don't know if it just developed or something. That is definitely not a fire. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. That is definitely not a fire. But interesting little feature, I guess you could say. If that were to form into like a supercell type storm, it would be all by itself, but I'm unsure if it would have that tornado. Let's look, actually. Let's look. Because we do have this mesoscale analysis still in effect. Let me just refresh this. There is good shear over here, but where this storm is, there's like 40, 45 knots of shear. Not great, but not bad either. I mean, let me see this. Where's the SRH? Here. SRH is kind of bad. Well, it's not horrible. I'm a little wonky on the numbers here, but I think SRH should be at least 100. And, like, the maximum is, like, 300 or 400 over here, but that's not where any storms are, so. Then we can see the composite indices. It's not that good environment over there. So I would be surprised if that does anything, but... yeah, and honestly, it looks like it's falling apart on the latest scan. So, I mean, it's a tiny little storm. We're watching it, but I doubt it's going to do anything. I feel like we're paying too much attention to it. I feel like we're paying a bit too much attention to it. Just a bit. yeah, still looking for more possible rotations or any sort of windstorm. I guess I could get another camera, but honestly, these winds aren't that bad anymore. I bet it would still be cooler to find another camera, but I feel like it's not necessary right now. So I'll wait off on that a little bit. We'll see. Still this storm, but that's the same scan. 2 tornado warnings in effect. Okay, so that's down to radar indicated, so now we can change our title back. I'll just keep the color because it was kind of... 2 tornado warnings. I mean, there was a rotation here earlier, but it's kind of dissipated ever since. You can see no more real rotation over there. But we'll see if anything redevelops up there in Missouri. Yeah, not seeing much right now, but that could change. Definitely could. Yeah, by the minute, this storm seems to be weakening. I mean, not really in the latest scan, but I don't know. It just seemed like a little updraft, to be honest. I really don't think it was much. And it would be weird if it moved north and northwest anyways. I mean, I guess not super weird, but not expecting anything there. Still have this storm, of course, looking worse, especially with the reflectivity. I mean, it just seems like the reflectivity is kind of painting the storm as getting weaker. I don't know what that hook feature was. It definitely wasn't tornadic. Still watching to see if stuff occurs. It's not like nothing's occurring, of course, but... Honestly, guys, I'm not really seeing much. Everything is just weakened at this point. I'm unsure if that's how it's gonna be tomorrow. I mean, of course, we're gonna have a threat tomorrow. I think the main threat will be winds. And it might be more intense than what we saw a few days ago on Friday. But we'll still watch it. We'll see if anything happens with that. But otherwise, I think we're done here. I mean, I thought we would have potential with that Oklahoma storm, but it's really not looking good anymore. Let's just check back on that one storm in Missouri. One more time. Yeah, it's going away. So you can see there's a cap in place, and it's preventing storms from forming. So I think I'm going to call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will get that video out by either tonight or tomorrow morning. Most likely tomorrow morning at this point because it's so late over here. But thank you guys for watching. Please just subscribe, turn on notifications. If you don't know what the notifications look like, it's the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Also, make sure to like this video. I don't care if dislike really didn't like this video. Fine. Dislike with this live stream. But yeah, anyways, it's interesting to make sure that whatever you do, stay on the more you stay down the road.